Professor, always a pleasure seeing you. So firstly, what are your thoughts on these opposition parties vowing to oust the Prime Minister by force if necessary?
Well, they always say that war is politics by another means. And the whole reason this war started was because there was disagreement over how the Tigray region would run itself within the context of how the Ethiopian state was run. And now that there's a bit of a stalemate in this escalating armed conflict, the Tigrayan rebels and allied forces want to take the fight to the capital or get a better deal. So really the only option now is for the Ethiopian government to have the types of negotiations that it was not having before, or fight to the death and risk losing the capital. So the complexity of Ethiopia, of course, isn't coming through in all this because we have all types of different front lines between different ethnic groups and different types of rebellion going on. But what this new alliance suggests is that there's a sort of growing national alliance against the president, and that bodes badly for a positive short-term outcome. The State Department also, if I could mention, seems to be leaning forward on Ethiopia more than ever before. There's the envoy, of course, in Addis Ababa trying to mediate. There's a new task force at the State Department. There's a greater frequency of statements. So it looks like the U.S. Hopefully is going to lean in more on this issue.
Do you think Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed will accept those terms by force or negotiation?
Well, he's not going to accept anything by force, but if threats of force get you to negotiation, then those negotiations should take place. It's, I think, confusing for a lot of people to see a president go from a Nobel Peace Prize winner for his success in negotiating peace to this situation where he's governing over a military force that's committing war crimes and atrocities, even though there have been war crimes and atrocities committed by the other sides as well. So it seems that his reputation, it seems that the international pressure hasn't had much effect on him until now. And if we get to negotiations, it's because the domestic forces have become strong enough that it threatens his presidency and threatens the capital. But he's certainly not going to take this laying down. He's proven time and again during the latter part of his presidency that he won't accept conditions dictated by the other side. On the other hand, will the Tigrayans opt for negotiations and some sort of compromise solution, or do they think they can take the capital? And just like any situation like this, each side has a negotiated solution which may or may not look optimal, or a war solution that causes a lot of death, but may give them more of what they think they want. The big victims here, the Ethiopian people, millions displaced, over 500,000 in threat of starvation. So that's one of the reasons the U.S. is leaning forward so much in Ethiopia, because of the humanitarian catastrophe.
Yeah, and I see that the State Department has asked its citizens, U.S. American citizens, to leave Ethiopia. What is the U.S. saying about the situation there?
That just means that the troops advancing down the road from Tigray towards the capital have gotten close enough that the capital's threatened. Most experts believe that we are weeks or months away from an actual assault on the capital. But, if you look at what happened in Afghanistan or in Libya 2 years ago, I mean, you can have rapid advances depending on the popularity of the regime. And even the president of Ethiopia has been calling for, the prime minister rather, has been calling for civilians to arm themselves with whatever weapons they have at hand to defend the capital, and then they're broadcasting images of a peaceful capital that doesn't look under attack. But beware of the messaging. I think the threats are growing here. The clouds are gathering on the horizon, and I think anyone that thinks that there's an easy way out now in Ethiopia is fanciful, is dreaming a bit, and that's why the U.S. is telling its citizens to get out.
As always, appreciate your analysis, Professor. Thank you.